So if you knew that you only had a few hours, some days, maybe a couple of weeks, months, or perhaps years to live, how would you live differently in this moment? How would you? Is there anything that you've been dreaming of doing, but you've never made a single step toward it? Is there anything that has been burning in your heart since you were a child that you really want to accomplish this before your time on earth is over? In this video today, I want to speak to you. I want to speak to that person who has dreams unfulfilled. I want to speak to that person who has things they want to do, but they refuse to make one step in that direction. Because my assignment here is always simple. I'm here to take you from stuck to unstoppable so you can profit with peace. So let's get into the video today. So recently I've been really thinking about life. I've been thinking about the brevity of life. How short our days are. How few they are. And I've been looking around me because I love doing that. I love looking and observing people and things and thinking and pondering. And I realize that so many of us, and I say us, right, are wasting our time. And you may ask yourself, how, Janelle? Well, let me tell you. Some of us are wasting our time because we're in dead-end jobs when God called us to business. Some of us are wasting our time serving other people's dreams and not accomplishing our own. Some of us are wasting our time trying to chase something that we should no longer be chasing, but we refuse to let it go because we had to have it. And it's the dream of our 15-year-old, 20-year-old self. And now you're 40 years old, it's never happened. And you're on a different pathway. And you're thinking that you should still go back to that. But you're like, is that really the dream that I need to live out? Or is that the dream of an immature version of myself? These are the things I wrestled with. I wrestled with it personally. And I've realized, now I'm a Christian. Now let me stick up in here and say this, right? I think some of you, when you watched my videos, thought that I was a preacher and I came to YouTube to preach. 150% no. I came to YouTube to coach you. That's what I do. I'm a coach. So I'm a coach who loves Jesus. So that intersectionality is going to produce something that you could mistake for preaching. But it's not. Right? So I thought that I would just stick up in here and really make it clear about who I am. I'm a coach who loves Jesus. That means that I'm going to use the Bible in things that I do because that's the word of God. That's the truth. That's what I believe. You may not believe what I believe, but I believe what I believe, and I'm seeing what I believe work in my life. Right? So that's what I'm going to share on here. It doesn't mean every 2 lines I'm going to say Amos chapter 3 verse 3. I'm not going to be like that. But you're going to hear it coming in, and you're going to hear God, and you're going to hear Jesus, and you're going to hear scriptures. Right? So if you're listening to this channel, you're going to have to be okay with that. Because I'm not changing that for anybody. So I'm making that clear. Nice. Let's continue. So I was that person. I was that person who I described earlier. Now, I sat down and I said, what is the purpose of time? Why does time exist? Why do we mark our calendars every year and we say this holiday and that holiday? Why do we look forward to seasons, right? Some people look forward to winter and spring and autumn. Why do we look forward to that? Why do those things exist? Now, the fundamental purpose for time is really to do what all of us were placed on this earth to do. There is no better reason time exists than that. Are there other reasons time exists? 100%. But what I'm arguing today and what I'm putting forward to you is that this is the fundamental reason time exists. Now, there was a movie, I wish I could remember the name now, and there was a clock on everyone's heads, right? And the person, the character, the main character, the protagonist, when he was walking about, he would see how much time people had left to live. Now, this is the truth, and it's not to be, a morbid person, but it's a reality. All of us have a certain time on our head, and we don't know what time we have on our head, meaning that time when we reach 0000, and that means we're no more, right? But with that time, the allotted time we've been given, there is a purpose, a divine reason, an assignment, something that only we've been put on this earth here to do, to accomplish. Now, all of our purposes look different. So I am here to be a coach and I'm here to talk to you on YouTube. Great. But this may not be a part of what you have to do. Perhaps you're the person who's supposed to open an orphanage. Perhaps you're the person who's supposed to open a business that you haven't opened yet. You're supposed to write that book that you haven't written yet. And my thing to you is, if you can't manage time, you're never going to fulfill purpose. If you can't manage time, you're never going to fulfill purpose. And that is the truth. I told you earlier, I felt like I wasted my 20s. I came to my senses when I was a certain age. I won't tell you. How old do I look, by the way? I don't know. I'm young. Please don't put any kind of weird numbers in the comments. That'll freak me out. I'm not that old. Okay? Nice. But the point I'm trying to make is, when you don't have an understanding of the reason you were created by your creator, you will mismanage time. You will. Because you wake up every morning and it's like, what am I doing this for? What am I living for? Have you ever woken up like that? I can tell you, I have. I've woken up like that. What am I living for? What am I doing this for? Because you're doing all these things and you're still wounding up empty at the end of the day. And there's a reason behind that. It's because you don't understand your purpose, or perhaps you're not even walking in it. And I am saying to you, and the people that I really want to agitate are the people who are supposed to be in the business street. You know you are supposed to do business. You have all the ideas to do business. But for nothing you will pursue this. And my question is, why? Why? And my second question is, when are you going to do the thing you were put on this earth to do? Because as you watch this video, another minute is moving from your life that you're never getting back. As you drive yourself to that job, 2 hours to go, 2 hours to come back, you're never getting that back. And I'm asking you, when are you going to take the leap and do the thing you were put on this earth to do? Do you know why you're stuck? There are many reasons I speak to the state of stuck on this channel. But do you know why you are stuck? Because you keep refusing to do the thing you know you are supposed to do. And when you decide, and I told a client earlier this week, I said to decide is to cut yourself off from every other option. When you decide that you are going to do the thing, you're going to open the business, you're going to start that YouTube channel, you're going to start that consultancy firm. When you decide you're going to do that, that feeling that you've been waking up to every day and going to bed with every night, would no longer be there. But a decision has to be made, because you're at a crossroads, huh? That's where you are. You're at a crossroad, and you can't drive in both directions anymore. You have to drive in one. Because you have to drive in one, you have to make a choice. And I'm saying to you, the ultimate and fundamental purpose of time is to fulfill purpose. And if you keep going on empty, and if you keep doing what everybody wants you to do, everybody thinks you should do, but it's nothing that has been in your heart for years, for decades even, to do. But you're not going to get back the years you spent serving everybody's opinion of you. You're not going to get back the years you spent making your mom and your dad and your siblings and your friends and your spouse happy, fulfilling a role that brings you zero zilch zippo fulfillment. When you decide, I'm going to take the leap and I'm going to get into business, I'm going to take the leap and I'm going to monetize all the ideas and all the plans that are in my head. When you decide that you're going to take the leap, everything will change for you. And if that's where you are, I can help you. Now, there are links in my description box that you can access. There's also an email there that you can access. Now, you could choose to access it and get the help you need. Or you could decide to stay where you are and live another minute and another hour and another day and another week and another month, which will turn into another year and then another decade, being miserable about refusing to decide that business is where you belong. It's not where they said you belong. This is where you belong. And I need to begin to use time to make this happen. But I don't know how to strategically use time to do that. I can't focus. I don't have the energy. That's my job. It's to help you get that. That's my job. It's to guide you to where you always needed to be. So if that's you, it's time to take the leap and reach out. So thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, because this is the place where I do what's my purpose. What's that? I take you from stuck to unstoppable so you can profit with peace. Take care of yourself.